You have been through some bad shit, I know, but not like what's coming. Artyom, remember, if you want to live, don't drop your guard for an instant, okay?
In light of all the remasters, I'm not sure who is asking for another souped up iteration of Metro Last Light, especially when Last Light wasn't the most well put together title. Regardless, developer 4A Games has released Metro Last Light Redux for both new generation consoles with shinier visuals and all the DLC. Prettier graphics and DLC is a warm gesture, but does it also fix Last Light's many issues? Let's find out here in this review of Metro Last Light Redux.
There you have it, bitch! Hey, you could have helped me. Are we musketeers or what?
If you didn't have the chance to touch Metro 2033, which is included if you buy the disc version, you're in for a little bit of a hazy start. Regardless, Last Light assumes you bombed the Dark Ones, the mysterious mutant beings that humanity misunderstood for evil. The laser-guided missiles somehow narrowly missed one small Dark One, sending Artyom, the returning protagonist, on a mission throughout most of Russia to find this evasive childlike being. On top of the rebirth of the Dark One threat, Vault D6, a vault supposedly capable of sustaining life for the entire Metro, is under dispute since it is the hot commodity. Every faction wants a piece of it, even though there is enough to go around. Last Light's narrative components are all over the place quality-wise. For every minute you spend absorbing the depressing Metro lifestyle and praising the thick, grim atmosphere, you'll spend 2 minutes in utter confusion trying to piece together what the hell is actually happening. Unknown or unexplained characters pop in at an alarming frequency, only adding layers of perplexity and forcing more meaningless faces to the crowd. Artyom, due to his failure to open his mouth outside of the loading screens, also becomes little more than a camera with a gun glued to it. Personality and complexity? Yeah, dream on. Of course, there's that random out-of-place sex scene that
It's hard for me to tell you these things, Artyom. But I want to feel that I'm alive. Touch me.
Wait, what was I saying? Oh right, it's totally humanizing and makes you feel for him. Just kidding. It's just about as dead and awkward as you'd expect. In the midst of the confusion and disappointment, there's a thread that opens up in the second half, one that both surprises and injects a refreshing sense of importance to the plot. Details are sparse for your benefit, but it was a direction I wish the game focused on rather than sporadically trying to touch on many different politics. Alas, even this plot device is forsaken in efforts to keep rotating the many spinning plates within the distraught Metro. It's a major letdown, especially since this singular thread almost salvaged a game that was less than pleasant at almost every turn. That's a polite way of saying I hated playing nearly every minute of Metro Last Light. Last Light is, first and foremost, a first-person shooter. Functional, yes, but it isn't very exciting. It just isn't any fun and doesn't attempt to offer much in the way of being strategic, nor does it feel very open. Weapons have a heavy, nice feel to them and their cobbled together aesthetic is a noteworthy detail, but there isn't much past that. Beasts aren't as easily desecrated, but are multitudes more frustrating than humans. Artyom moves slowly, so slowly that I constantly had to check if I was crouching. Achieving snail speed does little to evade attacks from clawed beasts, and it makes it a crapshoot whether or not you'll survive against anything that doesn't have a gun. Backpedaling while shooting and hoping not to get hit becomes the only strategy, and an infuriating one at that. Monstrosities such as these change the pace up, but they are such a pain in the ass that it makes their inclusion puzzling. Abysmal boss fights that don't relay damage markers and the sudden drop in ammo can make these bad situations even more unbearable. Sneaking is usually an option too. While no solid snake, Artyom can utilize shadows to move from point to point without getting detected, but that's about where it stops being a functional system. Each guard suffers from extreme cataracts and nearsightedness, failing to notice Artyom even if he's just a foot away if he's in the dark. Being concealed is accurately and constantly relayed to the player intelligently through Artyom's watch that dims to display concealment. Although that is a solid design choice, it requires too much suspension of disbelief that guard can't see him even if he's right freaking there. I get why it's a binary system, it just doesn't make the sneaking any fun and drops the ball on making it a viable gameplay path. Quality stealth titles almost all have one thing in common too: choice. Be it multiple paths, gear loadouts, or a combination of both, finding your way to play is always a key ingredient within the recipe for a good stealth game. Last Light oddly adheres to cripplingly narrow level design, one that amputates any sense of freedom and subsequently any fun that comes with feeling like a ninja. One tight path stands between you and your sometimes confusing goal, and the constrictive weapon design damns non-lethal players. The scavenging aspects that are instructed through the atmosphere and partially reinforced through gameplay only hint at what could have been. Playing Last Light was a drag, but looking at it sure wasn't. Even on petty consoles, the twisted, bombed out environments are stunning in their natural destructive beauty. This beauty is nearly fully realized when impressive lighting and the attention to detail are factored in. Darkness engulfs the metro for every hour of the day, literally and in tone, so these visuals enhance the mood that Last Light strives for. Animation is crude when compared to the best, and the soundtrack may not have any catchy highlights, but Last Light is visually impressive enough to carry the technical side of things, especially here in the Reduxed version. Metro Last Light is a hodgepodge of poorly executed good ideas. Glimmers of hopes were in the background but ended up being completely squashed out as the bad decisions kept rolling by at every stop along the Metro's route. Speaking of which, get off at the next stop. This one is not worth the extra fare. Metro Last Light gets a 5.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.